What's up, everyone? Welcome to the August 30th edition of DraftKings Tournament Plays presented by PrizePicks. I'm your host, Adam Scherer. You can follow me on Twitter at ShipMyMoneyDFS. And as a reminder, use the code AWESOMO when you sign up and make a deposit at PrizePicks. You'll receive one free month of Stokastic Plus Platinum. You'll also receive a 100% deposit bonus up to $100 on your first deposit. We have a 12-game MLB slate tonight. As usual, we're going to take a look at three of the top tournament stacks and three of the top tournament pitchers using the top stacks tool and the top pitchers tool on the Stokastic.com website. Starting with the top stacks, number 3, the Seattle Mariners are taking on Matt Manning tonight in Detroit. The Mariners are projected for 3% ownership with a 6% chance of being the top scoring stack. Manning is a highly regarded pitching prospect. He was last year before really struggling in the majors. Had success again at AAA this year. He's coming off of a very good start his last time out. Certainly not a given that the Mariners are going to do well here because Manning does have a pedigree. He is likely to eventually be a good pitcher. So far this year, a 20.3% strikeout percentage for the right-hander with a 4.1 xFIP. But it is a positive park shift for the Mariners. Detroit in the top 10 in baseball in park factor, looking at runs this year. The Mariners in the bottom 10. So that's pretty nice for them. And again, not getting much ownership. Their active roster has a 113 WRC plus and a 159 ISO so far this season. Number 2, Los Angeles Dodgers taking on Taiwan Walker tonight in New York. Not a great park for hitting and some pretty expensive bats in the Dodgers lineup as well. So certainly going to have to make some sacrifices somewhere if you do get to the Dodgers. But as a result, they're only projected for 3% ownership with a 7% chance of being the top scoring stack. The Dodgers active roster has a 121 WRC plus with a 188 ISO. Taiwan Walker this year has struck out 18.3% of hitters with a 4.1 xFIP. And number 1, the New York Yankees taking on Mike Myers tonight in Anaheim. Myers has spent most of the season working out of the bullpen, where he has a 21.9% strikeout percentage and 4.67 xFIP. Those numbers are down from the past, and in previous seasons, Myers has shown very good strikeout stuff as a reliever. But there's no real reason to think that moving to the starting rotation is going to improve his numbers this year, because typically you're not going to have more success facing a lineup the second or third time than you do the first time. So likely that he does sort of struggle as a starter. And even if that isn't the case, it is a very difficult matchup for him against the Yankees. So it's very likely he struggles in this particular spot. The Yankees active roster has a 118 WRC plus and 175 ISO so far this season. New York is projected for 7% ownership with a 9% chance of being the top scoring stack. Now, before we take a look at the top 3 tournament pitchers, we do have a new promo code for viewers of these videos. That promo code is AdamMLB. You can find it at the top of the screen. Use it and get 50% off Stokastic Plus weekly. This offer is available for new users only, but if you haven't already signed up for Stokastic Plus, take advantage, get 50% off. You'll get access to behind the paywall data, including the top stacks tool and the top pitchers tool that I referenced in these videos. So again, that's promo code AdamMLB. Use it and get 50% off Stokastic Plus weekly. Now, taking a look at the top 3 tournament pitchers. Number 3, Brady Singer, $8,900, taking on the Chicago White Sox tonight. The White Sox have been disappointing offensively all season long, and they are banged up at the moment as Luis Robert deals with a wrist injury. Yohan Moncada is injured as well. So it's a bit of a watered-down lineup. And Singer enters this game with a 25.7% strikeout percentage and 3.33 xFIP. The White Sox active roster has a 106 WRC plus and just a 19% strikeout percentage. So there is a reason that Singer's not overly popular, but only getting 5% ownership with a 9% chance of being a top 2 scoring pitcher. Number 1, Framber Valdez, $10,100, taking on the Texas Rangers tonight in Texas. Valdez is typically a pitcher I don't get to at elevated price tags, but this slate's a little bit different because while there are a lot of good pitchers, there's not a lot of top-tier strikeout options. So Valdez's 22.4% strikeout percentage isn't as low comparatively as it normally is. He's projected for 17% ownership. He has a 17% chance of being a top 2 scoring pitcher. The Rangers active roster has a 109 WRC plus, but they also have a 22.9% strikeout percentage. And number 1, Kevin Goffman taking on the Chicago Cubs. The Cubs do have some power in their lineup, but they have a 23% strikeout percentage on their active roster. It's also likely that we get a right-handed heavy lineup from the Cubs, and Goffman has a higher strikeout percentage against righties than lefties this year, though he's been good against both sides. Overall, he has a 27.7% strikeout percentage, which is one of the highest on the slate. 2.82 xFIP is very good as well. Goffman is projected for 30% ownership at $8,700, but he has an 18% chance of being a top 2 scoring pitcher, in addition to a 12% chance of being a top 2 value pitcher. So to recap, the top 3 tournament stacks: number 3, the Seattle Mariners; number 2, the Los Angeles Dodgers; number 1, the New York Yankees. And the top 3 tournament pitchers: number 3, Brady Singer; number 2, Framber Valdez; and number 1, Kevin Goffman.